Hello, I'm Rex Litter with the Midday News Update. Kokoda Station is undergoing a transition to become a Kokoda town. To support this, the Oro provincial government has applied for official town status to ensure necessary resources and tourism development in the province.
Kokoda Station, just a 2-hour drive from Popondetta town in Northern Province, is set to undergo a major transformation. The Oro provincial government plans to upgrade the station to a town. Governor Gary Jufa said the upgrade will allow the area to receive much-needed resources and services.
We've put in the town roads have all been, the station roads have all been sealed, and we've also put in an application with the Department of Provincial and Local Level Government for Kokoda Station to be upgraded to Kokoda Town, so that it can, as a recognized town, it can then be, accorded the appropriate benefits, resources that are needed to maintain such a town.
Jufa added that the provincial government managed to secure an approval from both PNG and the Australian government under a partnership to seal the Kokoda Highway. The project will be implemented under the Connect PNG program with the support from the Transport Sector Support Program.
Some time, but finally we are there. The agreement was done, and the 37 kilometers of unsealed roads starting at Mbara all the way to Kokoda Station will be sealed, commencing, I believe, in January. I'm estimating this. I'm not an engineer, so I can't make those type of specific estimates, but from what I understand, the process now that's undertaken is the scoping process. So a company has been engaged to carry out the scoping, and once that's done, in January onwards, they will be actually commencing the sealing.
Governor Jufa added that the upgrade is part of a broader plan to develop Kokoda into a major tourism destination.
It's an iconic highway, and many prime ministers past have promised to seal this highway, and I'm very pleased to say that this prime minister, thanks to the Marape Rosso government, has made the effort to ensure that this commitment has been met.
Until the sealing project commences, Jufa said that about 9 million kina in maintenance is expected to keep the road in serviceable condition. Salome Alman, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister James Marape has called on the two neighboring Melanesian countries, PNG and Solomon Islands, to turn their long-standing political, historical and cultural relationship into stronger trade, investment, business partnerships, job and shared economic prosperity. Marape said this when he opened the inaugural Papua New Guinea Solomon Islands Business Investment Forum in Honiara, Solomon Islands yesterday.
Speaking under the theme From Opportunity to Investment, Building the PNG-Solomon Islands Growth Corridor, Prime Minister James Marape said PNG and Solomon Islands must increase collaboration to build stronger and more self-reliant economies. He said Papua New Guinea since 2019 has been working on moving away from long-term dependence on aid and grants by developing the wealth of its own land, seas, and people, and encourage Solomon Islands and other Melanesian nations to pursue the same journey towards greater economic independence. The Prime Minister emphasized that PNG and Solomon Islands are permanent neighbors connected by geography, history, culture, and people-to-people relationship, and should use those foundations to build stronger government-to-government and business-to-business partnerships. He encouraged Papua New Guinean companies operating in the Solomon Islands to help grow investors and businesses to explore opportunities in Papua New Guinea. Marape identified fisheries, mining, agriculture, energy, infrastructure, tourism, financial services, telecommunications, and downstream processing as major areas where the two countries can cooperate and invest together. He placed particular emphasis on the enormous fisheries resources of both countries, particularly building greater domestic processing, manufacturing, and value-adding capacity to create employment and retain more economic benefits for their people. Mason Lewis, TVWAN News.
13 firms comprising both government and private institutions were announced as anchor sponsors of the inaugural PNG-China Business Forum and Trade Expo set to take place October 19th to 21st in China. The forum is expected to attract 1,500 to 2,000 investors from both sides.
The landmark PNG-China Business Forum and Trade Expo marks 50 years of bilateral ties and trade between Papua New Guinea and China. The sponsors of the event were announced by Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru at Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby, Wednesday. The sponsors are BSP Financial Group, Baoshan International, TISA Bank, CPAC, Kumul Consolidated Holdings, Pacific Lime and Cement, PNG Co, Kumul Mineral Holdings, Pagail, Ramonico, Ministry for International Trade and Investment, National Trade Office, and the Special Economic Zone at Roti.
This year we are going to move into China and announce negotiations for a comprehensive economic partnership agreement which will anchor trade and investment with China.
Also mentioned that the biggest investors of Papua New Guinea are from Guangzhou in China, citing the importance to hold a forum in the province and potentially market PNG resources, including agriculture, tourism, and fisheries, to encourage investment into PNG.
So this Forum and Trade Expo is part of a bigger package to anchor our future with China in terms of the relationship. We are going to take on China in the diplomatic front, in the trade investment front, and the relationship will be taken to a very different level.
Secretary of the Department of Trade and Investment, Jacinta Warakai Manua, described the forum as an opportunity for PNG to market its product.
This is only the second project that the ministry and the department is involved in promoting Papua New Guinea as a destination for investment, as well as opening markets for our products. The first was held in Japan last year when Prime Minister officiated.
Maru emphasized that the investment will go a long way in helping the country. Mason Luis, TVWAN News.
In news overseas, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has captured the sharpest views yet of a crater carved by a crashing SpaceX rocket. Earlier this month, the upper stage of a SpaceX rocket plowed into the moon after drifting through space for more than a year. The first crater appears to be 18 meters across and less than 3 meters deep. Dark and bright streaks are clearly visible, animating like butterfly wings from the crater. The darker lines represent excavated material that was close to the surface and shaped by eons of solar winds, cosmic rays, and micrometeorite strikes. The brighter rays indicate fresh rocks and dirt that were hurled from further down. A parliamentary committee investigating discrimination and bullying in Tasmanian schools in Australia found shortcomings in support, training and mental health care. The inquiry's final report says gender and sexually diverse students and those with disabilities were disproportionately affected by bullying, harassment and discrimination. It also found Catholic Education Tasmania discriminated against some staff members, a claim the organization denies.
Earlier this year, transgender teen Emily Courtney shared her experience at St Patrick's College with a parliamentary committee investigating discrimination and bullying in Tasmanian schools.
Issues like segregation at camps of being put in a corner 100 metres away from everyone else. Separation, being unable to compete in athletic carnivals or any sports, even if they're non-competitive.
The inquiry's final report makes 55 findings, including that transgender or gender diverse students in Tasmanian schools are not always appropriately supported. Some students with disability aren't given appropriate accommodations. And Catholic Education Tasmania has discriminated against staff on the basis of sexual orientation and marital status.
It says what we have been saying for years, and that is that there is systemic discrimination and bullying against LGBTIQA+ staff and students in Tasmanian schools.
No kid should fear going to school, feeling that dread and anxiety that they're going to be bullied or harassed at school.
The two government members, Michael Ferguson and Mark Shelton, dissented, writing that while they agreed with the central proposition, the report went too far. They pointed to a statement from a witness that wasn't included in the report, which said families may choose faith-based schools for other reasons, but nonetheless accept the faith environment. Catholic Education Tasmania commended the dissenting statement and said it would continue to review and improve its schools. Attention now turns to the government's response to the inquiry's 33 recommendations, which include funding the Anti-Discrimination Commissioner to perform widespread training in schools and increasing specialist support staffing.
I now call on the Rockcliffe government to defend its gold-class anti-discrimination laws, stand up for Tasmanians, say discrimination is wrong.
In a dream world, I'd hope that every child would be able to walk through the school gates and not have to worry about being attacked for who they are.
And our midday news ends on that note. Do join us at 6 tonight for the main bulletin.
Very crucial match here. Yeah, it's now or never.
Let's strike, another left look at the runners, and he's gone almost scored. Williams Durant goes over, 1-on-1. Another try for the Milky Way for the goal. What is happening?
And the Eagles are in town.
Journey into extraordinary stories that challenge limits and inspire possibilities this August.
The periodic table is our toolbox for unlocking energy for the future.
Discover the breakthroughs driving a greener future as scientists and industry partners work to decarbonise global shipping through cleaner fuels, more efficient green hydrogen production and smarter port operations.
Meet me there. Love your sayang. Is she trying to spice up our marriage?
Meet Me There returns to places that have shaped lives and relationships. Take a heartfelt journey across Singapore and uncover cherished memories, enduring bonds, and the stories that connect us.
Oh my God! Oh, she's really there!
Meet Kan Lakan, Singapore's first deaf natural science illustrator and conservation photographer, whose extraordinary journey proves that passion and determination know no boundaries. This August on CMA.
Getting through, Tyler Richard for this one. Penguin trying to come through, ball bounces, Penguin over, Penguin score! It's a try! It's another Broncos try! Tufty through the front line, Tufty on his way. Footwork, Jackson, Purdue! Oh, he finds the target out wide and cuts on. They've got him sharp, Billy Smith's going to stroll over. Running we are, so Kokoda, straight for the kickoff. Here we go, they will run through brick walls, I told you that. Very strong, lost the ball, might not need it, will slide over.
In Tuvalu, the ocean is closing in, a nation under threat from rising seas. But people here have been offered a way out with the world's first climate-linked visa. And more than half the population has applied to leave their homeland.
I don't want to leave, but at this rate, it's a move that must be done.
It's part of an historic deal that gives Tuvaluans facing the impacts of climate change a new pathway to live and work in Australia. Because on these narrow atolls, land is limited and life is becoming harder to sustain.
I prefer migrating to Australia. Maybe my daughter will have a better life and a better education.
But what happens to a nation when the ocean is pushing in and its people are pulling away?
Empty space in the houses. You go to outer islands now, you see a lot of houses, only with the aged still staying there. Active workforce is gone.
As the world stands on the precipice of a great climate migration, Tuvalu has been called the canary in the coal mine. But the country is battling to keep its head above the waves, racing to create more land, pushing its borders out into the sea, in the hopes that those that leave will one day return to a country still standing. It's late afternoon on Tuvalu's main atoll. The last flight of the day has left. And the runway comes alive as people make the most of the wide tarmac. Tuvalu is around 4,000 kilometres northeast of Australia, a group of 9 islands, and space is at a premium here on the main atoll, where more than half the country's 10,000 people live on this narrow strip of land. It's this precarious setting that has made Tuvalu particularly vulnerable to rising seas.
This airstrip only sees a few flights in and out of Funafuti each week. For Tuvalu, this place is a lifeline and connection